Well, next up is going to be a feature on the rustic buff and old Gothic, a Lionel Watchman shanty, a conversion to a scale model, basically making a toy to a scale model. But before I have my feature program, I'd like to have a little video on our New Tracks Facebook.
Does it seem like eternity waiting for the next Wednesday night and a New Tracks event? Now there is hope. The New Tracks Modeling Facebook page gets you into the New Tracks community 24/7. Post, respond, and converse with over 1,200 avid model railroaders on Facebook. Show your modeling, ask questions and help others. Join now, it is free and easy. Use the link or QR code to open the Facebook page.
Like I indicated earlier in the program, we have all these platforms. So we have Facebook page, website, New Tracks observations. We have our live show. We have the scholarship, and there's opportunity for volunteer work here. Before I do my show, my little segment, I don't know if you can see that. Can you guys see my little ad here on the build along?
Yes, yes.
Okay, sorry. In 2 weeks' time, March 19th and March 26th, I'm doing a build along with a Frenchman River Model Works resin kit, a Tom York original. If you would like to participate in the build along, if you enter NEWTRX on the Frenchman River Model Works website, you'll get a 20% discount. If you need a nice little single stall engine house and you model an O scale or ON30, well, ON30 or ON3, this is a neat kit. It's a Tom York original, and you know, it's just a very nice model. And the art in making a resin kit is in the painting of them and the detailing and the weathering. So I will share with you how I do that. So next, I will okay, if I can get this going. Okay, I assume everybody can see that. So I'm going to show you how I kit bashed a Lionel Watchman shanty for my ON30 Rustic Buff and Old Gothic. I purchased this at a train show for about $12. And I transformed this toy into what looks like a laser cut scale model. I have under $20 in this, and I tell you when you see it, you'll have to make your own case or judgment on it, but it looks like a $150 plus laser cut kit. This Watchman shanty was produced by Lionel Trains in 2 periods. First in 1977 through 1984, and then again in 1987. This is one of the later kits shown here. This is another kit, a little out of focus. It's approximately 2 1/4 inches wide by 2.5 inches deep by 5 1/4 inches high. This is the one that I actually found at the show. This is the original. It's not exactly what you would call a scale model, but wait till you see what I do to it. I purchased it. Somebody had actually assembled it, so I didn't buy the kit. But this is what my pre-assembled one looked like. I'll show you in a moment. This is what I turned it into. So there's the before and there's the after. I'll show you how I got from before and after in a moment. So this is how I purchased it from the show. It actually didn't look too bad. I toned down that red. Internally, it's red. Things that I didn't like about it, I didn't like that pointed roof. It reminded me of something out of Harry Potter. I didn't mind the gray and the green. The fellow that assembled this did a reasonable job with that. But the railings were missing and broken, and the model was split here and there. And I mean, it was pretty much presentable. You can see the split in the center photograph there. Missing railings. More views of the same. So the first thing I did is remove the roof. And then on the picture on the right, I began sanding off all the excessive solvent glue, the plastic glue. There were drips and drabs all over the place. And when I pulled the railings off, there was remnants of the railings on the landings and on the steps. And then the model was split. So the glue was failing, and I just held it together and put super glue in there, and then with an accelerator, it instantly bonded there like a. I fixed that. You can see the brilliant red on the inside. I debated how much I would tear this thing apart. I was going to take that acetate off, but on the windows, but I left it on. These are the paints that I used. I used this red brown Tamiya for the landings and the railings. The flat black I use for the inside, so that if I light the building up, you're not going to see that red. And then I use the colors on my railroad structures for the rustic, buff, and old Gothic are basically yellow, green, and brown. I principally use the acrylic on the right. I use that flat yellow a little bit to just knock some, I managed to get some brown on the yellow, and the acrylic paint was too transparent, so I got out this flat yellow to put it on to knock out the dark brown, and then I put the acrylic back over that. And then the dark green is the accent color, German camouflage green. I use the thinner there because this paint, my flat yellow and dark green seem to be drying very quickly. So by adding the thinner, it diluted it a little bit, and I had more working time. Now, these are my base colors. So, you know, I painted the yellow, then I painted the brown, and then I do what I call a bounce. This requires an inordinate amount of patience to get this kind of accuracy. You paint the yellow, you paint the brown, you paint the yellow, you paint the brown, because you get it back and forth, till you get it where you're, oops, sorry, till you get it to where you're, where I was happy with it. So that's the look. Now the roof, I just took a piece of plywood, about 1/16. I mean, it was 1/8" plywood, and then I took some basswood, and I just made this little pyramid, and I super glued it together. It's not critical that this comes to a point here, as you'll see. And once I got it all together with a fingernail file, sanding a coarse fingernail file, I sanded everything flush, and I put super glue on there. This is approximately 1/4 of an inch perimeter. And the building itself fits directly underneath this. So this is the overhang. And then I went to rail scale models. Last week, Father Ron used rail scale models, like an asbestos type siding. So I went online and I looked for some sort of shingle for this, and I found this, and I used adhesive back for the first time. Typically, I just use Elmer's glue and put them on myself, but I thought I'd try the adhesive back. So like conventional roof, I painted everything black just in case you might see something. I put the first course, oh, sorry. I put the first course on in reverse. So you can see that down here, barely. Mouse is a little sensitive. And then I just began layering them on one at a time. You're trying to get it split them at 50% here, right in the middle. And then I just put them on a little heavy and then cut them with an X-Acto knife. You don't have to be perfect because, there's, wow, this thing is sensitive. So there is the first course. See how it's reversed? That way you don't see the black when you put the course on. And there's basically the finished product. So you see the edging is all covered with shingles. So you have to be crazy precise. I went in and put in little pieces in here. It's not quite finished, but more or less. And then I weathered it. And it's just a nice effect. I used hunter line washes, and then I hit it with dull coat. Now these are from rail scale models as well. This is from their website. I didn't take a picture of the actual eave support brackets, but this is these are laser cut support brackets. I wanted to add a little detail to the underside of the building. Probably should have went, photographs tell a story, right? I broke one, that's all right. But basically I glued them up in place and it added a nice detail. Oh boy, this thing is killing me. This, I'm gonna get away from the mouse here. This adds a nice detail up there rather than just have the roof stick out by itself. Then I began adding I had to put in a railings. So I used scale 4x4s here. This is just basswood. And I super glued it to the landings and to the stairs. And then with basically 1x6s, I built up the railings. And I filled a lot of this with super glue and sanded it so it's absolutely smooth. So you won't see any of these when it's painted. And there's the finished model. I hit the windows with dull coat because I don't normally model the inside of anything. I put the little vent here for the stove. This was on the original Lionel model. Look at that center picture. I mean, that's a pretty fair looking model. It looks like it's a far cry from the toy. And I painted the doors that military German green, and then I weathered everything with pan pastels. Everything has a pan pastel on it, and then I hit it with dull coat. Some other views, other sides. I'll need some comments to see if I pulled that off as a not looking like a toy anymore. What did y'all think?
Good job on it, Tom. And I find it's sometimes a lot of fun playing with something that's almost as old as I am.
Yeah, and it's $20 in the whole project, or less. And I think it looks quite presentable. I have it on the layout now. It's